Hey there, guys. Good morning. It's early this morning. I am in early. Hey there, coaches. It's Sanae, Floyd here, business breakthrough coach and sales mentor. And this morning I wanted to come in here and have a conversation with you about the notion, the expression, what you resist persists. And this has been inspired off a conversation that was going on in a mastermind that I am in, an amazing invitation-only mastermind called the Luminary Leaders Labs. It's insane. It's amazing. But we were having this conversation about worrying and what is going on internally when we worry. And it got me thinking about that saying, the expression, we've all heard of it, you know, what you resist persists. But there's knowing it, but do we actually embody the meaning of it and apply its wisdom? So I want to have this conversation with you today about this wisdom, what you resist persist, and like, do we really apply the meaning of it? Do we really understand? So I'm going to use the example of money, because I know this is a biggie. It's one of the biggest worry thoughts, I guess, especially in the entrepreneurial space. We worry about running out of money. So if this is something that you can relate to, or you can use anything that that worries you, that you have a concern about, maybe not constantly, but it just kind of comes in and out. But let's talk about money as one of the main key issues, the main key worries. When you're the truth is that when you are worrying about something, say when you're worrying about money, what is really going on is that it's a pattern of thought and feeling within you. Like you already have this pattern of thoughts and feelings that is creating the worry. So you've given the idea of running out of money all sorts of meanings. Like running out of money is just running out of money. But when we worry about it, it means that we've given it so much meaning and associated images. And that's what causes the worry. And those images obviously are terrifying. You know, when you think about running out of money, when you kind of meditate on that notion, you imagine losing your home, or you imagine your family members judging you and making you feel all this shame, or you imagine having to go back to your old job with your tail between your legs, and you know all your old colleagues judging you for your failed attempt at starting a business. So we have all of this we conjure up all of these images related to this idea in this example of running out of money. And it kind of, we focus on it, and it kind of fills our headspace, all these images. And because we have been conditioned to believe that when we are threatened by something, when our nervous system has been triggered, then we've been conditioned to kind of watch it closely. Oh my God, my bank balance is diminishing. I better focus on it. And so we become really hypervigilant. Our vision actually closes in. We become very kind of closed in our peripheral vision. We close in and we start to focus on the thing we fear. It's like, if you imagine your mind as a cinema screen, it like panoramic, it fills the whole visual field. And so because we've been conditioned to think, if this is a fear, I need to focus on it. I've got to look at the thing that is threatening me, that's going to kill me. And what then happens is, because it fills our mind space, we then get into that perpetual loop of feelings and thoughts. So the thoughts fill our headspace. We then create all this emotion, and then it creates like this feedback loop that perpetuates the cycle of thoughts and feelings. And then because of that cycle that we get caught up in, that then determines how we act, our choice of behavior, or rather it's an unconscious response, our behavior in the main. So, some people may become frozen, look at your bank balance, it's diminishing, or you whatever it is that you're worried about. You look at it and then you may freeze and go into the freeze response and feel paralyzed to take action. And it just, that's your response. Some people may lose their shit, and have a complete temper tantrum. Other people may go into like this hyper hyper overdrive and manic, taking massive action, frenzied massive action to rectify the problem. All of these responses are unique to the individual, but they're all learned. They're all like survival responses. And so that then is the behavior that kind of mitigates that moment of fear. And then you create that like status quo. And then that becomes a pattern. So you have this circumstance, or you look at the thing that frightens you, it puts you in this emotion and thought feedback loop. Then you take your survival response action, whatever that is, or non-action if you freeze, but nothing changes. So it's all still internalized. And so this is what you are resisting, and this is what is persisting. So you may think that it's all situational. You may think that, the bank balance is causing the response. When I look at my bank balance, I feel like this. I talked about this yesterday. When I looked at my credit card debt, I felt shame. So we think it's circumstantial. We think this situation is creating the emotion, the feeling, the behavioral response, but actually it's the other way around. Your internal conditioning, your programming, your past learned responses, your thoughts and beliefs about money is causing the bank balance to be the way it is. So your external reality is a mirror of your inner conditioning. Hence, what you resist persists. So we've got to break the pattern, whatever it is that you're fearing. You've got to break that pattern, interrupt the feedback loop in order to kind of free yourself from that charge, that stuck energy, and raise your energy frequency so you can create a new reality. And in this instance, a new bank balance. So how do we do that? Well, hey, Alison, hey, Irina. So how do we do that? The best way to do that is to let go, to relax and release. And you think, how do I let go? This thing is in my headspace. It's filling the cinema of my mind. How do I just let go? Well, the idea is that you have to disassociate and not identify with the thoughts and the feelings. So let me give you a scenario that happened to me yesterday. So very quickly, just before Christmas, I pranged my brand new Audi TT. I had a mini collision with a white van man. And, at the time it was, I was like, okay, this has happened. I was going actually to an important event. So it just was a moment in time. I didn't give it too much thought. I had to exchange details very quickly, get in the car and just go to this event and focus. So it was only until I got home that evening that I suddenly thought, oh God, the pranged car, there's a dent in the front and it's scraped. So anyway, got in touch with the insurer, reported it. But in my mind, I decided I'm just going to pay for it myself. I'm not going to go through the insurance because I'd rather just pay the bill now, get it over and done with for the repair, rather than, pay for it over years with increased insurance premiums. So that was what I was thinking about. So anyway, reported it as I needed to. And then I went to the body workshop. And yesterday, this is so current. Yesterday, I received the quote for the repair. And I don't know why I thought it wouldn't be, I didn't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting what the actual quote was. It went into thousands, like multiple thousands. So as I read the email and I received the quote and I looked at it, I felt my chest crunch, like that charge in my solar plexus when I looked at that bill. And I knew that in that moment, it felt very situational because I was fine just before I looked at the bill. So you'd think, right, well, I've seen this bill. The bill has created this charge, this like contraction in my chest. Not so. That contraction in my chest is an old past pattern. So for me, being able to recognize this in myself, to be able to say, okay, right, oh, there's the charge. So instead of getting sucked in, I've been doing this work a long time, instead of getting sucked in and going, oh my God, I'm so worried, I'm scared, how am I going to pay this? Oh my God. Instead of getting sucked into that old histrionic pattern, instead it was like, okay, I disidentify, oh, there's that feeling in my solar plexus. There's a charge there. And immediately, because I'm aware of it, I can't say his name out loud because he's right here and I can't say the W word, but I clapped my hands and just said, right, come on to the dog. We're going to go around the block. So instantly changed my state. And as I was walking around the block, I was observing, just watching the charge, not associating with it, not identifying it, but just watching it. And as I watched it, I actually felt it kind of loosen and then just dissipate. It was gone. So I went home and I managed to kind of sort everything out really easily with a really clear mind. There was no emotion attached to it. It was just a logical process. And then last night, as I was falling to sleep and thinking about, the gratitude for my day, I started feeling really grateful. Because I had to ring the insurer, obviously I'm not prepared to pay that. I'm going to go through the insurance now. But I went to bed thinking, oh my God, when I rang the insurer from that revised state, from that higher frequency, the conversation was incredible. And I went to bed thinking, oh my God, I don't have to move a muscle. Next Friday, they're coming, they're going to collect my car, they're going to leave me a courtesy car. There's all these experts who are going to fix it and make it beautiful again and bring it back to me. I don't have to do anything. And all of a sudden, there was a wash with gratitude for that experience, for that learning, for that lesson for me, another opportunity to break down any charge from my past around money, because it was a beautiful opportunity. Anytime you get that, practice just noticing it, not identifying, not getting sucked into it. Relax and release. Just relax your shoulders, relax, your hips around it, relax and release. When you can do that, that's when you break. It's like I always imagine it like something that just starts to crumble away, like an old piece of rock starts to break away. And then you stop attracting those situations, or if you attract them, you don't freak out. You don't have that old charge, because all of your charges, all of your emotional stuff, it's past. My very good friend of mine recently shared the quote with me, if you're hysterical, it's historical, which I love. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, that there's real wisdom in what you resist persists, but it's, do we embody it and do we apply it every day? So sending you loads of love as always. Thank you for watching, and I will speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.